everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the We're Going 5 podcast, powered by TSH Tennis. Jannik Sinner enters the history books yet again to become the first man in history to win the Sunshine Double without dropping a single set. And Jiri Lehecka showing us some tennis that we've been waiting for at least 5 years. Sasha Zverev, has he finally shown us the tennis that can win him Grand Slams? Carlos Alcaraz, was that early loss actually a good thing? All of that and so much more. But before we start, I'm Yousef.
Hi, I'm Ismaeel.
Hey guys, I'm Haroon.
Haroon, your boy, Jannik Sinner, wins Indian Wells, then goes back in Miami and wins the Miami Open to become the first player in history to win the Sunshine Double without dropping a single set, to inch closer to becoming world number one again. Your thoughts on your boy getting the job done at Sunshine Double?
How can you doubt him? How can you doubt him? He is an assassin. He's an assassin. I mean this in the best way possible. This guy is a psychopath. Like, in the best way possible. This is a compliment. Guy's unbelievable. This is like, he's playing amazing. And I love watching him play. Guys, like, he's crushing everybody. Sasha Zverev is playing the best tennis we've ever seen him play. 9.5 rating. Like, and he crushes him in straight sets. Mickelson is probably the one that gave him the most fits. Crushed him in straight sets. Tiafoe didn't even have a chance. Lehecka going on a Cinderella run, playing the best tennis we've ever seen him play. Like you said, we've been begging him to play it. Straight, easy win. Nobody is coming close to taking sets off of him. Jiri Lehecka in this final, obviously he still remains undefeated against Jiri Lehecka, Jannik Sinner. So they played 4 times before, 4-0 against Jiri Lehecka. Jiri Lehecka, congrats for taking 8 games from Jannik Sinner. Better than having 3 games in Roland Garros last year, losing 6-love, 6-1, 6-2. So nice.
That's rough. But to be fair, I wasn't sure if Sinner was playing at the level he was playing this all tournament, that Jiri was going to be able to take more than 4 games all match. To be honest, if Jannik brought his level, I really was worried. Like, it might be a repeat of that last year's Roland Garros match.
6-4, 6-4 was a good, solid loss to have. But Jannik Sinner's
an honorable one.
Jannik Sinner's unbelievable, guys. Like, I didn't doubt him. I don't know how you guys doubted him. There's only a handful of guys in this whole entire planet that could even touch him. You have Novak Djokovic, wasn't in the draw. You have Carlos Alcaraz, lost early. So anybody else, it's night. Like, it's a cakewalk to him. So, like, this is unbelievable. I don't know how he's gonna lose. Like, I can't envision him losing. Obviously, Alcaraz is the one that gives him the most problems. But playing the way that he's playing, the serve is unreal. Like, this is really not fair. Sasha Zverev, for example, was giving him. Well, he's playing unbelievable level, and he's really playing super aggressive, playing with drop shot variability and everything like that. But Jannik Sinner, when he's serving, it's crazy. Like, it's unfair. I honestly think that he might have one of the best serves I've ever seen. It could be, when it's all said and done, one of the best serves of all time, because it's a cheat.
Right now,
it's a cheat sheet.
For right now, his serve is really looking like a big problem. Like, and Jim Curry was talking about it on the call. But not only that, like, we've been seeing all tournament long, it's just, if the serve is cooking, you can't even touch it. And today, there was a point where he didn't even lose any point on first serve, and he ended the match only losing 3 points on first serve.
That's insane.
Only 3 points he lost on first serve. That's how untouchable it's become. He's hitting his spots. He knows how to slice it out wide with the pace, with the precision now. It's starting to be a massive, massive cheat code. I agree, Haroon, about that point. It's really a problem. And the speed of the second serve has gone up too. So it's not like he's even giving you any room to think.
No. Like, Ismaeel, again, about you talking about winning his points on his first serve. So he's winning at least almost 80% of the points on first serve. So the one that gave him the most problems on his first serve, not winning the most points on first serve, we played Sasha Zverev. It was 79%. So he's winning 79% of the points on first serve. Everybody else, it's 80 plus, 90 plus in two of his matches. Like it is unfair. It's really unfair. Plus that he's hitting with so much power. He's one of the best returners in the game. I have no words to talk about this guy. Like, he's making history. Unbelievable.
Ismaeel, anything to add to what Haroon had to say?
Yeah, I have a lot of words of what to say. Like, Sinner's now he's reaching a level that is, it's incomprehensible how amazing he really is playing right now. And you know, I came into this final, and even look at the numbers and the stats. There is nothing that Lehecka does that is better than Jannik Sinner. Like, if you look at forehand shot quality, backhand shot quality, serve, return. Fair. Yeah, you can even say about anyone. And then when it's not even as good as his average, his year-round average. So, like, Lehecka's coming in with a big deficit going in. And to be fair, I didn't expect him to put on such a performance. He played really well. He played aggressive, and yet Jannik handled him. I thought Jannik played today at 60% of his level. The only thing that was really clicking was his serve. But other than that, he really wasn't hitting the ground soaks with the precision or power that he was doing all match long,
there were some beautiful shots there.
But not compared to the
it dipped after the rain. After the rain. After that rain.
Before the rain, after the rain, this was not the level I saw all tournament long. What he did to Zverev was massively impressive. He took Zverev's best shot, like Haroon said, Mikkelson's best shot, he cooked Tiafoe in a way that was unfathomable. What he did to Tiafoe was unbelievable. So he's just playing incredible all around. He's become so much more fun to watch because he's attacking now and moving forward a lot more, and he's taking now the volleys even a little bit more, and he's serving and volleying, and the drop shot. He's becoming a lot more variation, a lot more like Carlos himself. Now the matchups with him and Carlos are going to get even more spicy. I doubted him winning any one of the tournaments in the Sunshine Double. He goes home with 2. But to be fair, how you're saying, why would you doubt him? I only doubted him because I saw Carlos playing unbelievable. I just had Carlos eventually stopping him. No one else stops him. Who else stops Jannik Sinner other than Carlos? You know, with Carlos, sometimes Carlos can stop himself, like if he's having an off day or he's in a bad mood. Jannik never stops himself, and that's his ultimate superpower. Forget all the tennis. He doesn't dip in general. He's always there. And so in that sense, he's a superhero. And absolutely deserved this win. We knew he was going to do it once Carlos exited the draw. It was just his tournament to lose. So incredible performance. Can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it really was spectacular. And, you know, when you go and look at just the amount of historic stats that are on his side after this tournament. First of all, 34 consecutive sets won in Masters.
Unbelievable.
34.
Unfair.
It really is insane. It's like the second best in history is Novak at 24 sets. So he
shattered Novak's record, which I didn't see that coming.
It's not done yet. He's been doing things that are otherworldly. So the Paris Masters won that tournament without dropping a set. ATP Finals, the same exact thing. And then here we are, Indian Wells, that happened. Then this week we have the Miami Open. So can you imagine can you just think how good Jannik Sinner is? Because let me just explain this. In the ATP Finals, when Carlos Alcaraz lost 7-5, 7-6, we were praising him for how good he was able to play Jannik Sinner. And then fast forward to the Miami Open, he's going up against Sasha Zverev. He loses 6-3, 7-6. We're praising him, saying this is great, this is amazing progress, for losing straight sets to Jannik Sinner. That's the level that he's at. We're saying this about the world number 1 and the world number 3 for going to a tiebreak in one of the sets and then losing straight sets. That's how historically great Jannik Sinner is. And it is absolutely scary to see because he, like you said, he doesn't get phased in any way. The fatigue isn't an issue. Like, what's up with that? 2 weeks in Indian Wells, then 2 weeks.
I'm telling you, he's
in
a
Miami.
psychopath. He's a
And it
psychopath.
means, and then he's going to play Monte Carlo. He's
a
stamina,
stone cold killer.
The level doesn't dip. He's giving us historic stats. I'm at a loss of words to say what Jannik Sinner has done. The last thing I would like to say is every single time he has adverse conditions that he's dealing with, whether it was Roland Garros, whether it's that loss to Menchik that looked like it was a really bad loss, he comes back and does this. He came back and did what he did in Wimbledon. Mentally, also, he is on a completely different level, and it is a joy to watch. It's also very scary to watch for all the other players. And not only that, it is unfair because he does it so smoothly, and sometimes we take it for granted.
Yeah, we do. And, I dropped a video also earlier this week about how he's using the drop shot more, and he's moving so well, just side to side and defending better than he's ever defended. I don't know if anyone can stop him other than Alcaraz and Djokovic right now in the near future.
To your point,
and
since October, the only person to take him down in big tournaments since October is Novak Djokovic in that semifinal Australian Open. No one else touches him. And Carlos Alcaraz is in that conversation, by the way. He's one of the guys that played him and couldn't beat him.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's really a spectacular stuff.
Something also which made me super confident in picking Jannik Sinner to win the Sunshine Double and also to go on a tear and all those things like that, all those things that I said. It's because Jannik Sinner does not go on losing streaks. Like that doesn't exist in his new system that he has created once he changed into a different player in the end of 2023 and 2024. So like in 2024. Or sorry, like in 2025, he had one instance where he lost like back-to-back tournaments. So that's when he lost to Carlos Alcaraz in that insane Roland Garros 5-set epic battle. And then he lost to Bublik and Halle. So that was like something where he played 2 tournaments and he didn't win it. The time before that was the year before in 2024, where he lost to Medvedev in Wimbledon. And then he lost to Rublev after in Canada. So other than that, he's either winning the tournament or making the final. And he's only losing to Carlos Alcaraz or somebody that plays a fantasy match. So like this is elite level play that we're seeing.
The race to world number 1 is completely on now. Carlos Alcaraz has Sinner right on his heels.
Sinner is putting max pressure right now on Carlitos for world number 1.
Can't wait to see the clay swing. Our favorite time of the year is coming up, and we have this race for world number 1. Spectacular stuff. But guys, let us know what you thought of Jannik Sinner these entire 2 weeks, and also, I guess, the entire Sunshine Double. We want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. And please, if you're watching this and haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. It means so much to us. That being said, Jannik Sinner, otherworldly, an alien, superstar. The things that can be said about him can go on for days. But on the other side of the net, we saw a very special tournament from Jiri Lehecka, Ismaeel, making it all the way to the final. And before he even made the final, by the way, he did not drop serve once. We know what Sinner did, broke him once in each set. But that run was special. Your thoughts on Jiri Lehecka, and is this the beginning of something special for the Czech man?
I think so. I mean,
the Czechman.
The Czechman is doing a lot of checkmating. He's really looking awesome, and I feel like coming back from the injury, they're saying he's slimmed down, he's lost some weight, so he can move a little bit. But I think he's moving better than he was before the injury. He looks even a little bit more fluid on the court. His ground strokes are beautiful. They're a thing to watch. Yeah. He really has really killer power on both sides, on the forehand and backhand. And today, he wasn't getting overpowered by Jannik. He was in the rallies. Like, I never felt like he was too rushed in the rallies. In fact, he was dictating some of the points. So this bodes well for his ceiling. He has a very, very high ceiling. The serve has improved a lot. Actually, what impressed me most about Lehecka today is that how well he was able to move forward and attack the net. Before his injury, I was not seeing Jiri Lehecka try to attack the net and move forward as much as I saw today. And actually, he had a very nice performance in terms of going forward and moving to the net. And he had, let me see this here, he had 13 of 19 points. He moved to the net a lot. You saw he was being proactive. Jannik only went to the net 6 times in comparison. So clearly part of his strategy, had a lot of nice volleys. I think if he can continue to show this type of proactivity, and he's clearly stepping out of his comfort zone to bring forward this new game, this new attacking game, which is a new dimension for him, this is going to bode well. And as far as I'm concerned, he had an amazing run to the final here, because look at his run. Moise Kouame in the first round, who's a up-and-coming youngster who has some nice power. Downed him in straights. Ethan Quinn looking good. Straights. Fritz, tough match, finishes him off. Landaluce, very nice win off him as well. And then beating Artur Fils convincingly, then going off against Jannik. Very convincing run. I love it. I think if he continues with this type of mindset and proactivity, and he can stay healthy, Yousef, with this confidence building, I think he can go far. He can go very far.
Haroon, what were you seeing, brother?
I actually was impressed. Because like we saw flashes of Jiri Lehecka for many years. Like we see him put on sometimes a great performance. Like, wow, this dude's so solid. He has a lot of power. He's so consistent. He's fit. He's like he can go for 5 hours playing great tennis. But he wasn't consistent like tournament to tournament, and he wasn't like getting the wins that we thought he should be getting, and he wasn't getting closer into the top 10, which we were predicting he should be there, because it feels like he has the game to compete with anybody. Anybody that is normal outside of Sinner and Alcaraz, of course. But it's great because also even in 2026, he wasn't showing that, wow, he's going to go on a great run in Miami, and he's not going to drop a service. Service not going to get broken, and only get broken twice to Jannik Sinner. That's it. Like I didn't see that, so seeing that, I'm now a bit surprised, but also happy. And Yousef, you've been waiting for this performance even from last year. Like Jiri Lehecka, and Jiri Lehecka is also one of your guys that you were predicting. This guy's going to be in the top 10. This guy's going to be great, but like he wasn't showing that. Yeah, the injuries is obviously a problem, but I'm happy watching him play Jannik Sinner, even though Jannik Sinner is on a completely different planet. But I felt like the points were interesting. The points were fun. He was hanging in the rallies to some extent. He was hitting.
He wasn't getting overpowered. I don't think to some extent. I think he was playing very solid today. Very solid.
Yeah, and with everybody else, like what he did with the Fils, that's crazy. Like he crushed Fils, absolutely took the racket out of his hands, which is somebody that is very hard to do against, because this is somebody that plays a lot of power. Like you said, Ismaeel, he always has a crazy RPM on his strokes. So impressive from Jiri Lehecka. I hope that he takes this performance and carries into the next tournaments and into the rest of the year. I hope so, because if we have him in the draw, he's ranked 21. If we have him in that mix, that's gonna be great for first round matches, second round matches. Like anybody would not want to face Jiri Lehecka playing 14, this way.
So he's gonna be in the mix, and he's gonna be a top seed. Yeah, so he's gonna be in the mix right now, and people are gonna fear him in the draw.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Your boy Yousef, he's making waves. You had him in the top 10 last year, which was your prediction is a year late. He's almost there this year.
Not there yet, but he's closer, and that's why I predicted what I predicted, because he has the tennis. When I watch him play, like the way he strikes the ball off both wings, the aggression that he has, he's physically up there with the best of the best. And I'm like, he has everything. What's wrong? Mentally, maybe against the best of the best, he can't keep up with them. But with everyone else, he's capable. And we've seen what he was able to do. Even that big win against Rafa in Madrid a few years ago, like that requires something special. And he has something special in him. And, injuries were a reason as to why he wasn't able to accomplish what I expected him to accomplish. But here we are. If he stays healthy, like you said, he's slimmed down. If that was the issue, if he's able to
that wasn't the main issue. That was one of the issues, injury. But he also mentally not mature. He was inconsistent. He had lapses.
I agree. I'm not going to say, but, injuries also affect that. But he's healthy now. And I told you guys many times before, I believe confidence can do wonders. And a run all the way to a Masters final, let's see what it does for him. I love him as a player. I believe in him greatly. I hope it continues, but we have to wait and see. But does he have the talent? Does he have the tennis to do that? Yes, 1000% he does.
For sure.
I
I think
hope
it's going to
so.
be exciting.
We deserve to see this talent go through.
Well, in the meantime, guys, Sasha Zverev might be looking the best he's ever looked. Yousef, in the past couple years, how promising is Zverev looking right now?
You know, Sasha's been looking amazing. And when you look at his matches against Jannik Sinner, you might not say that. You might look at the scores and you feel like that's 2 back-to-back losses in the Sunshine Double in straight sets, so you're not that happy with what you saw. But all the rounds before, like, Sasha is super consistent, very dominant, playing very aggressive, and it's working to perfection until he faces the likes of Jannik Sinner. And we haven't seen Carlos Alcaraz, but it has been mostly Jannik Sinner. Carlos Alcaraz, we saw he did in the Australian Open. So I would say, first of all, as it stands, because Novak Djokovic is not playing that much tennis, Alexander Zverev is by far the 3rd best player in the world, and he's continuing to show us. And the back-to-back semifinals at the Sunshine Double were spectacular. And now we're moving in to the clay season, which he absolutely loves. So I think he's building towards something, and he looks like he's happy with what he's doing. We know it wasn't enough against Jannik Sinner, but the steps that he's taking, the 2 steps back to take 4 steps forward, it looks like it's happening. We're not there yet, but I do believe he's on the path to reaching that goal of hopefully and eventually winning that Grand Slam that we all hope that he gets to.
Haroon, are you as impressed with Sasha right now, or what are your thoughts?
I don't think he's by far the number 3 player in the world right now. I think Djokovic still has a say there because he,
Novak's
in
not
fact,
playing. I'm not disregarding Novak. Saying when Novak's not playing, it's Sasha right there, number 3.
Sure. I think that's fair to say. He's playing unbelievable, especially in Miami. So in Indian Wells, I thought he was improving. He's showing that he's becoming more aggressive and he's becoming more consistent and brave. In Miami, he stepped it up a notch where he was playing even more aggressive and more consistent, playing unbelievable. Especially that match with Jannik Sinner was amazing. Like, I was really so shocked and surprised. How was he playing this good, but he's still losing and he's still getting crushed? Like, yeah.
Haroon, I think overall, after the match, when they do these overall scores, he had a higher rating than Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, it was 9.5. It was 9.5 to Jannik Sinner's 9.3. And really, like, what can he do? Like, he said it even in the end of the match. Like, Jannik Sinner's telling him, you played well. He's like, not well enough, which sums up the whole match. What more can the guy do? I feel bad for him because he's playing better, I think, than he's ever played. In my opinion, if like you like try to look at his chances, these are the best times for him because he's the best mentally. He's the super fit, by the way. He's super underrated, by the way, as an athlete. He's tall. He's serving amazingly, and he's playing really aggressive. So I don't know what more he could do. Like, I really don't know what more he could do. I really don't know, except hope that maybe Jannik Sinner and Alcaraz dip a bit. But the guy really is doing the best he can. And if I'm his coach, like, man, I'm so proud of you. I don't know what you could do. Hats off to him. But still, like, he's still so far away from these unbelievable giants, aliens of these tennis players.
But Ismaeel, like, he was so close, right? But then against Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic, it really does come down to 1 point. And we saw in that tiebreak, when he missed that overhead, it was game, set, match. It was over. Like, those are the times where you can't make those mistakes. We've seen the amazing level of tennis, the aggression, though. But has it really, is it down to mental now? The tennis is there, it's down to mental?
I think he's taking great steps. Like, I wouldn't have imagined he would shift gears like this from last year to this year. I already think it's impressive, but I think he's even playing more aggressive than he was in the Australian Open. In the Australian Open, he was great, and he took Carlos to 5th set. So I'm very optimistic. And comparing Indian Wells to Miami right now, he's on a much better level. Look, you see him; he seems more comfortable playing more aggressive, and he's looking to take the ball early. He's looking for the winner. And he had Sinner, by the way, really fighting for his life in many points. You saw Sinner. Sinner is so amazing now, and he's incredible on defense. But Sinner, make no mistake, he was playing a lot of defense against Sasha. And the stats confirm also the eye test. So Sasha was moving to the net really well. 10 of 14 points won against Sinner in the last match. 21 winners to only 14 unforced errors. These are the positive signs you're looking for. Yeah. He had a couple of break points, like you mentioned, he didn't convert. The tie break, he had a couple of chances that he didn't convert as well. And even if we take a step back before the Sinner match, he absolutely destroyed Cerundolo.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such an impressive performance because Cerundolo has been giving him problems. Yeah. And I said before that match that I knew he would take out Cerundolo convincingly because he's not playing the same style as before. Cerundolo likes it when you give him time. He can set up the forehand, a very clay court type of slow player. When you take the ball and the time away from him, it was night sleep. Like just that shift of tactic, and he beat him 1-2 in a quarterfinal where he's lost him before. So this was a very, very impressive showing for the past couple of weeks from Sasha. And if he can serve good enough, and his serve was excellent against Jannik the last match, I think these are all very, very good signs. Like I really wasn't positive after the way he finished last year. Yeah. But now I am so optimistic because I don't think Sasha lacks talent. I don't think Sasha lacks talent in playing an aggressive style. It's just he doesn't want to. Yeah. But he's now, and even you hear him speak, he's so locked in on playing the style to win a slam. I am convinced he's going to beat Sinner and Alcaraz before the year is done. He will do it.
He's not, you're convinced, he's convinced. And he believes he's capable now. And by the way, when he was talking, he said, last year, I didn't have that belief. I wasn't healthy, and I don't think I was playing my best tennis. He's playing his best tennis now. And to add on to that, Ismaeel, he's added the drop shot even more.
Yeah.
Like he's not only he's coming in, he's also adding the drop shot when he's coming in off of those. And when Sasha comes in, a 6'7" giant like him who has a really good volley, how are you supposed to pass him? And you can't lob him either. So he's added that. Like it's suffocating tennis when Sasha's playing aggressive and he's that big with that wingspan. So I told you, I expect an amazing season from Sasha Zverev. That's now semi-final at the Australian Open, semi-final in Indian Wells, semi-final at Miami Masters. And the only people that have beaten him are Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Honestly, after he lost the Australian Open the way he did, I thought that might take a hit mentally. Yeah. But after these two tournaments, I think he looks just fine. I mean, Acapulco was a one-off, but other than that, he's looked excellent. And in terms of improvement, of course, just in terms of improvement of tennis, I think Jannik has been the most improved since last year to this year, widely so. And I think Sasha right behind him. Carlos has nothing to improve. Djokovic doesn't have it.
I agree. Well, I think guys, let us know what you think of Sasha Zverev. Has he been looking the best he's ever looked? Is this very promising signs going forward? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to see what you guys have to say, and subscribe. It means so much to us.
Yeah, for sure, guys. I think Zverev is knocking on the door for sure. Well, somebody that is unbelievable, magic guy, of course, but he lost early. Carlos Alcaraz. Was Alcaraz's early loss a good thing? Yousef, what do you think?
Call me crazy. I actually do think it's a good thing. Because
really? Why?
these 2-week Masters events are so taxing on the body. And I have no idea how Jannik Sinner is going to play Monte Carlo. They're saying he's going to play the tournament, but he's not going to have enough time to recover. That's 2 entire weeks of tournaments in California, then moving to Miami. Then he's going to go back to Europe. It's going to be very tough. We saw with Daniil Medvedev, when he was going up against Cerundolo, he looked gassed. And he tried to fight because he's a champion, but he wasn't able to. Carlos Alcaraz has so much to defend, Ismaeel, going into the clay season. He has the Monte Carlo. He has a Barcelona final. He won in Rome. And then we know what he has at RG. And he loves the clay. And he has so many points to defend. So if you actually tell me this might be a big win for him that he lost early, because he's back. As it stands, he's practicing on the clay again, ahead of everyone else that is like him. Sasha's not practicing on clay yet. Jannik's not practicing on clay yet, Haroon. But he is. So the fact that Carlos lost to Sebastian Korda in that round of 32, I believe is a blessing in disguise. Because going into the clay court swing, he's going to need to be in his best form. And he's going to need to be relaxed. He looked like he was burnt out. He's going to get a chance to recover. He's back practicing. He's into the clay. Lots of points to defend. Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Ismaeel, what do you think? Good thing? Your boy Sebi Korda, by the way, let me just point out this, because this loss to Sebi Korda, Ismaeel, you've been high on Sebi Korda since we've seen him on tour, but just because it's been so long since he reached that level that we've been demanding from him. So it kind of like got lost in the sauce. But
Haroon, like, come on. Ismaeel doesn't deserve any credit for Sebastian Korda. He likes him. He gave up on him long time ago.
Not long time ago.
You gave him up. Haroon, you're the one who jumped back on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I did. I have him.
One of my he's going to be the biggest sleeper this year.
True. But Ismaeel started talking more about him before a lot of people started talking about him.
Yes,
he talked less now in the last few years. But whatever. Anyways, Ismaeel, your thoughts? The loss to Sebi Korda, good thing?
We'll talk about Korda in a bit, but I had my eye on Korda before anyone. You have to give me credit for that.
Said I give you that, but you jumped off. You jumped off.
I jumped off because he's an injured, so we can't expect anything from him. He's so injury prone. But more on Korda in a moment. But Haroon, right now, Alcaraz, I think it is a good thing from one hand because he, in the middle of the match, he said, I can't handle this or I want to go home, something like that. Like, and it looks like he's burned out and he's won everything so far this year, basically. So he does need
not
time
everything.
To rest, we know. Not everything, true. He did lose in Indian Wells. But I think he's the kind of player who he needs time to rest and recover and have family time, and he's so young. So you want to take care of that, emotional health of Carlos. On the other hand, Haroon, I don't know if it's a good thing because if we're looking at the race to Turin right now, if we're talking about the world #1 chase, this is the time of the year where Jannik has a chance to make up a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And early exits, in this period especially, are going to be very penalizing. And so, semifinal in Indian Wells, which is not an early exit for anyone except Carlos Alcaraz, hurts him. And early...
He did not lose points, by the way.
Yeah, sure, because...
He lost in the semifinals. He did the same exact thing he did last year.
Sure, but...
Lost to Goffin, Miami.
Sure, but we're talking about in the live race right now, Jannik is catching him very, very fast.
Which is why Haroon and I have Jannik ending the year as world #1.
Yeah, and I have Carlos. And so the gap just got really narrow.
Yes.
And so in terms of the fight for year-end world #1, he might look back on these 2 weeks as the ones that cost it because
he won everything else.
Because Jannik, first of all...
From here on out, it's defending. It's not adding.
Exactly. And also, other than that, there's no one that stops Jannik Sinner other than Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah. There's no one that stops him other than, so if he goes out...
Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, but if he goes out, it's 90% chance that Sinner's going to win the title.
He's literally letting the points go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So from that point of view, Haroon, I don't think it's good. However, since he does have a lot to defend, maybe it ends up being net positive. I think how the clay swing will play out is going to tell us was this net positive or not. So right now, I'm going to say I think it's early concerns. Early concerns because of the world #1 might come back to these couple of weeks.
Haroon, good thing, bad thing?
No, I don't think it's necessarily like good or bad thing. I just think that Alcaraz, traveling to Australia, that was a long way. He's been traveling a lot and he's been winning a lot. And I think he gets bored with too much winning.
About that point, Haroon, I think he is bored. I agree because he already achieved his goal of the year. He wanted to win Australia. He did it.
It's like Tiafoe. All he cares about is slams.
So to me, it's a good thing because then he gets to go home early because, yes, you're saying he has a lot of points to defend on clay.
He is starting to practice Haroon in Murcia today.
Yeah, exactly. So
Murcia.
Go home early, get that rest, go enjoy some time with the family, eat some nice food, recover, sleep in your bed, and then get excited for the clay near your home. That's to me a good plan. If you're still in America, you're going to play Indian Wells, then in Miami, then you were in Qatar, then you went to Australia. It's such a grinding lifestyle. So especially for him who loves to be at home, and if he's winning everything, it feels like, why am I doing this? I'm just winning so easy. So I think it's a good thing, and I think these were good losses. First of all, to Sebi Korda and Denis Medvedev, these guys played the match of their life. So there's nothing concerning tennis-wise.
There's absolutely nothing concerning tennis-wise. Zero concern tennis-wise. He is everything.
Yeah. So it's a good thing, Yousef.
No, it's just crazy to me because when you think of Carlos Alcaraz and everything is achieved, he's the youngest to do this, that, so many things, and how many slams he has, more than the big three had when they were at that age, more than everyone at that age. And then, but he has these burnouts. Like, can you imagine if he didn't have these burnouts?
Yeah.
Like, he has these. This is a common thing where he needs a break, and that's just Carlos Alcaraz. And what we've seen from
I don't know if it's just
Roger,
Carlos Alcaraz. Nobody has won this early this much.
I know, but like, but these Rafa from 2005, like he just doesn't stop. He's relentless, and I don't think we've seen much burnout from Rafa. I don't think we've seen some from Novak.
He wouldn't excel outside of the clay season as much as Alcaraz.
Which is fair. Which is a fair point. But I'm just saying, if Carlos Alcaraz didn't have these burnouts as often as he's had them, and I have no problem with them. He's only human. Actually, he's not human, but he can have them. But imagine if he didn't, he would be doing so many more historic things. Well,
I think like that's his biggest and maybe only weakness is that he just needs a break. Too much winning. So maybe you can plan your tour like just hope. I think Alcaraz is gonna go on a tear and go for 20 match winning streak. I'll play the tournament after.
Last year, what we saw from he had one of the best clay court seasons of all time, and he's going to continue.
Let's see if seasons of all time.
Yeah, no, but I mean the clay court season. Like he's up there with one of Rafa's. Let's see what he does this year. But Ismaeel on the other side,
but he's still the best. Like he loves the clay.
Yeah, he does.
And Carlos on clay is magic. So
yeah, I know. I'm telling you, when you're put side by side with Rafa, with clay seasons, you're doing something special. But the person that was on the other side of the net in Miami that took him down, Ismaeel, your boy, Haroon, also your boy this year, Sebastian Korda, taking down Carlos Alcaraz in 3 sets and then going on to lose to Martin Landaluce, another Spaniard who at the moment is ranked 151, but he is up and coming. Your thoughts? First of all, I think the question to be asked is, what in the world is Sebastian Korda exactly?
He's the ultimate confounding player because you don't know what you're going to get from him tournament to tournament and sometimes match to match.
Sometimes?
Oftentimes even match to match. And he has these big breakthroughs and then he gets injured or he has a mental letdown. To be honest, I was very disappointed in this loss, even if Martin Landaluce played amazing. He did play amazing, but Korda had match points, first of all, if I remember correctly. And so the match was on his racket. Yeah. And it's just, I feel like he has the tennis. He does, because he has the smoothest ground strokes in the game. He has such, effortless power off both sides.
So what is Sebi exactly then?
What he is a player that lacks maturity. He's a player that lacks maturity. And also, I don't think he's fit enough. He gets injured a lot, but I think fitness-wise, that's still a weakness in his game. He does not lack anything in terms of tennis, in terms of talent. Zero. He has maybe the softest hands on tour at the net. He's incredible. Amazing slice backhand. Amazing from both wings. He plays maybe a bit passive at times, but for the most, he's quite an aggressive player, which you need to be to beat the top guys like Sinner and Alcaraz, although he's been cooked by Sinner a couple of times. He lacks maturity.
Okay.
And he lacks some mental toughness. And if he can put that together long enough, and he needs to do that. The way you build the maturity and the mental toughness is you have to grind out tough wins. You have to win on days that you're not playing your best, or you win on days when your opponent is playing their best, like what happened against Martin. And he's still not there yet. And, Martin Navratilova said he would be a Grand Slam champion 3 years ago. And I thought that was a bit ahead of schedule to predict that. And I think he has that potential, ultimately. But right now, he's so not ready. From a maturity point of view, he still has room to grow. He really has a lot of room to grow.
Haroon, what in the world is Sebastian Korda?
Sebastian Korda is a fantastic player. So, we need to put things into perspective here because we've been talking so much about guys like Carlos Alcaraz, guys like Jannik Sinner, guys even like Sasha Zverev and Denis Medvedev. These are guys that's achieved so much. But when you go back down to earth and other players that are trying to grind on tour, tennis is a very tough sport. Going day in, traveling all the time and being consistent and going up in the rankings and defending your points, going down, getting injured, it's not easy. So since Barcelona last year, okay? Since Barcelona last year, there are a handful of players that got a win over Carlos Alcaraz. That's Holger Rune. You have Holger Rune, Jannik Sinner, Cam Norrie, Daniil Medvedev, and Sebastian Korda. So put some respect on Sebi Korda's name. Not a lot of people can get wins against this guy, Carlos Alcaraz, because he's an absolute...
Sebi's awesome, Haroon. No one's discussing if he's awesome or not. He's awesome. Sebi's tennis, when he's on, it's one of the most fun and beautiful tennis games you can watch.
For sure, for sure. Not only did he beat him once, he beat him twice. So this is the second time he beat
him in Monte Carlo before,
He's beat him in Monte Carlo on clay. So we're talking about this is now the prince of clay, and Sebi Korda beat him before. So we have to give him some time, give him some patience and grace. Sebi Korda is still growing. Getting injured is not easy at all, but he has the game to beat the best of the best, arguably baby GOAT, arguably one of the best of all time, and having 2 wins against. So I think Sebi Korda is a fantastic player who's just dealing with injuries and dealing with just becoming consistent on tour. And once he figures that out, Jannik Sinner also had that problem before. He figured it out, became an assassin. Sebi Korda is still young. He's not that old. He's still in his mid-20s, and he still has the game to show for it. And anybody that sees Sebi Korda says great things about him, but it needs to be more consistent, and that has to do with injuries, has to do with mental stuff. And he talked about it. He wasn't in a great place mentally, and it's also not so easy to do so. But I think it's only way up for him, and I have him. Yousef, you said it. I have him. He's one of my predictions to have the biggest leaps this year. He's now at 36. He got up a spot. And
he's
I think
22 in the live rankings right now, so he's looking very good in terms of rankings wise. Yeah,
I think great things about Sebi Korda. Hopefully he just stays healthy, and that loss to Martin Landaluce is a great loss. That guy is phenomenal, by the way. I have great takes about him. So I don't think that's a bad loss either. So it's not like, oh my God, he beat the best player in the world and then he lost to some rando. No, that guy's he's a great player, up and coming player, and he could have beaten Lehecka and played in the final. So nothing bad to say that much about Sebi, from my opinion.
Yeah, Yousef, your thoughts.
So Sebastian Korda beating Carlos Alcaraz, I was not surprised. That's how highly I think of him. Sebastian Korda losing to Martin Landaluce, I was not surprised. That is Sebastian Korda to me. He is capable of giving you the highest level of tennis that mankind has ever seen. He hits the ball as clean as anyone has ever hit the ball, like you said, Ismaeel. And he's also capable of losing to, with all due respect, Haroon, to Martin Landaluce. He's a young player. You're Sebastian Korda. You just beat Carlos Alcaraz. You've been on tour for so long. You're 26 years old. You're supposed to be in your prime. You're healthy, by the way.
25. He's 25 still.
He's turning 26. And you're not supposed to lose that match. Especially, you're supposed to take advantage.
He's not
and we say confidence. You just beat Carlos Alcaraz. You're supposed to go on and take advantage of that. Look, I love all the reasons as to why we haven't been seeing it from him. I love his tennis. To me, I said this before, he's the most frustrating player for me on the men's tour. I believe he's capable of being a perennial top 5 player, but he has yet to give us that. And this is who he is. He's showing you who he is. He is injury prone. He is capable of winning against the best of the best. He's also capable of losing to guys well outside the top 100. I don't know this, but this is who Sebastian Korda is. He's going to give you the best one day, and the next day he's going to give you the worst. I hope I can see it from him, but I need to see it to believe it. The consistency is everything in tennis. Consistency is everything. When you beat Carlos Alcaraz one day, that doesn't mean anything, but can you beat him the tournament after that, or the one after that, or the one after that? We haven't seen that consistency. And when you show us that consistency, that's when we talk about you in the same breath of the top guys. He has never shown us that. And I'm going to start speaking of him in that light when I see it from him. So I need to see it to believe it. But as it stands, Sebastian Korda is capable of these one-hit wonders, but that's it. But the talent is 1,000%.
Some people don't even have that. So if you have the juice to beat him.
I know. I'm telling you, which is why he makes him the most frustrating player for me, Haroon.
But let me say,
he's capable of taking down world number ones.
Yes, and this year he's having a good year.
He's
having
he won
a good year.
Del Rey.
He was amazing.
And he's
Del Rey. Remember the Del Rey we're talking about? Might be a gladiator run. He took down Mikkelsen, Ruud, Koboli, and then TP. So that was a really, really nice run.
Which is why I'm sad, because I expected at least the semi-final after he took down Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah.
At least, like, give me that. Actually, a final even. A final, you were capable. Why should, with all due respect, Jiri Lehecka making it all the way to the final, Artur Fils making to the semi-finals, I believe he's more talented than those guys. That's why I believe in Sebastian Korda, which is why I'm sad that he's not able to give us more than a round of 16 appearance.
Well, he's going to have to work through this growth period for him, because learning how to play against lower ranked players.
I want to see him winning Masters. He's capable of being a Grand Slam finalist, maybe eventually a champion. But he hasn't shown us anything close to that, just potential. And potential is not enough.
I'm gonna take a dig at one of my favorite players, Alex de Minaur, who hasn't able to beat Carlos Alcaraz before, so he's 0-6 against Carlos Alcaraz. But he's a perennial top 10 player on tour. Would you choose to be Alex de Minaur, who never comes close in anybody's opinion?
Of course. How many Grand Slam quarterfinals has Sebastian Korda made? Can you give me the number?
Not many.
Not many. I think it's one, and it was in the Australian Open when he beat Daniil Medvedev. That was the only time, and then he withdrew. Actually, like, he retired in his match.
Yeah, but if you're going,
and Alex de Minaur has made it to what, 9, 8 Grand Slam quarterfinals. Perennial top 10 player, up in the top 5, touches that, and then moves back. Give me Alex de Minaur's career 1,000%. Like, what are you even saying? If you get a win over Carlos Alcaraz, it means nothing to me if you go off and you go lose round 1, round 2, round 3. Alex de Minaur deserves some respect here, my friend.
De Minaur is one of my favorite players, but de Minaur
respect him then. Respect him then.
He's only been able to take a set of Alcaraz once in his life. So
Alcaraz
Korda beat him.
All of tennis.
Korda beat him twice.
Alcaraz is not all of tennis.
Like Alcaraz
if you get up for only an Alcaraz match.
Demon also just beat Korda in.
Great. Thank you. Add to my case.
Indian Wells.
Add to my case, my friend.
He beat Korda in Indian Wells.
Add to my case, brother.
Alcaraz is on pace to be one of the best, probably could be the best player of all time.
You're looking for nice match wins, not for good careers.
No, but it's true. The thing is, Sebi has more talent, by far.
Right.
Yeah, but
you would take Korda's career over
Alex
as of right
career?
now.
As of right now, no.
But
I think Sebi has a chance to go all the way.
It's
Sebi
easier
doesn't
to
have a chance.
It's easier to teach consistency or talent. You can't teach talent, and you can't teach that level of juice. But you can teach consistency, and you can learn to be consistent and to harness that power. But that power is...
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, exactly. But I want people in the comments to tell us what they think.
Yeah.
It's an interesting convo. It's an interesting convo.
It is.
Yeah, let's know in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already, because it means a lot to us. In the meantime... One of our semifinals for this tournament in Miami was Artur Fils, who just keeps on performing, coming back from injury, looking really good so far. Will Artur Fils continue his incredible form?
Yes. Artur Fils is a superstar in the game. And what he showed us against Tommy Paul was mind-blowing. It's one of the moments of the season for me. It was one of the clutchest things I've seen in tennis for a while. I know Carlos Alcaraz has had many. Jannik Sinner has had many. But Artur Fils, this one is right up there. To come back from 6-2 down in the tiebreak to win 6 consecutive points against Tommy Paul, who was playing spectacular tennis. They gave us the match of the tournament, maybe one of the matches of the year. But Artur Fils, I believe he has it. I believe he has the mentality. I believe he has the tennis. I believe he has the physicality to go up toe-to-toe with the best of the best. My only thing about Artur Fils is that energy needs to dial down a bit. The emotion needs to dial down a bit, because I believe he gave that match against TP so much. When he came out against Jiri Lehecka in the semifinal, he came flat. And it was flat because he went they always say, don't let the highs take you too high or the lows take you too low. You want to stay in the middle. And he lets the highs take him too high sometimes.
I think he's a high energy player.
I know he's a high energy guy, and I want him to keep the high energy, but it just needs to be dialed down a bit, or he needs to find a way to bounce back after those, because I think those are the things that he needs to to work on. I believe that he even said so. He needs to be less emotional during matches. It is what makes him magical, and it is why I love him, and it is why he is a box office player. But if it dials down a bit, it's not really a criticism because I love it. I love it, you know? But I can say that if he just dials that down a bit, we'll see even more consistency, even though this is consistent. A final in the Qatar Open and then a semifinal here we have in Miami. Special stuff from him. I'm a big fan. The clay is going to be spectacular. And come RG, I hope he stays healthy. Come RG, having him healthy, France, their best player, going toe-to-toe with the best, we could see some special magical moments from him and Paris.
Definitely, he could have a special run if he continues this form. Haroon, do you think he's going to continue this incredible form so far?
For sure, I think it's for sure going to continue. Like, it's nice to look at what the greats of the sport speak about other players. So his coach obviously is going to speak well about him, but sometimes he doesn't speak so great about other players that he coached. Goran Ivanisevic said that he's one of the best players of his generation. He's one of the best young talents that he's seen right now. So when somebody like that speaks so highly about him, that says a lot. And we've seen it this year in 2026. He's only losing to fantastic players. So he's only losing to players much better than him in ranking and players that are in the top 10. So he's losing to Felix Auger-Aliassime, Carlos Alcaraz, Sasha Zverev, Jiri Lehecka, who went on a magical Cinderella run in Miami and he was playing lights out. So a great loss, I would say. So not a bad loss. And it's tough to ask him to be, more, to tone down his emotions after that crazy match against Tommy Paul. Yeah, that's just tough. Maturity and experience. Yeah. That's just experience, which will come. Yeah. But at his stage right now, not much to say, not lots of criticism, but just, okay, this is a learning experience that we know now, and this is something that he needs to learn to be more consistent. But that was a fantastic run. Even losing to Lehecka, come on, man. He's playing unreal. He crushed your boy Tsitsipas Ismaeel. He absolutely destroyed him.
If I recall, Ismaeel, Tsitsipas versus Alcaraz and Fils combined, I think he's 0-12 or 0-11.
Well, I don't think we need to bring Alcaraz in it. Tsitsipas is never going to beat Alcaraz ever in his life.
He can't beat Fils either.
Well, and Fils also presents a horrible challenger because of how much RPM he has coming off his racket as well, spin, and going into his backhand. But I wouldn't even make note of that Tsitsipas that much on that match because of just Tsitsipas checked out of that match.
He couldn't see. He said he couldn't see.
And it was horrible. Inexcusable. I don't excuse him for saying that, but I'm not going to weigh into that match. It was. Let me tell you, Fils would have beat him either way. Yeah. No, I don't think he'll ever beat Fils. He's one of the players. I don't think he'll ever beat Fils. There's some players I don't think he's ever going to beat again. Like Sinner and Alcaraz and Fils. These people
Djokovic. Who knows? Who knows?
He doesn't crush the ball the same way. It's going to be very hard for Tsitsipas.
Well, stay on Fils then. Stay on Fils.
Let's not talk about a topic about Tsitsipas right now. Let's talk about Fils. And
I'm always waiting for a chance to talk about Fils. But yeah, about Fils, I agree with what you're saying. Haroon made the point before about how he's come back looking slimmer and how he's looking more fit. And obviously that looks like it's serving him.
I didn't say that, but thanks for giving me those points.
Yeah, you said he came back slimmer, and his coach is talking about how they've been working on his fitness so he can be more resilient for longer tournaments and demanding tournaments. He's also a very physical type of player. I think not just because he's a compatriot of his country, but Monfils has the same type of explosivity I feel like you watch with Fils. They're very explosive type of players, and as when we were talking with Coach Michael Stillstrom, that takes a lot of time to recover. Go check out that interview. It was a really great interview. And he was talking about how Monfils would get tears after the matches come, how physical the matches were. I think of Fils as a similar type of player. I watched the coach break down the Fils forehand he has now. It's a little bit more he was used to really close the racket on the forehand. He has a bit more open so he can make it more compact so he can handle pace better. He's made a lot of tweaks to his game, and his backhand is unbelievable. I feel like he has maybe one of the best cross-court backhand angles on tour right now because he does it with precision and pace, which I don't know if I've ever seen someone hit that backhand cross-court angle with that pace. It's ridiculous how he does it. And so nothing but great signs from Fils. I think he's going to only improve. Also, the fact that he came back from injury and performed so quickly for me is such a green flag.
Yes.
That's a sign of the greats. Only the greats do that. Artur, I think at 21 years of age, I can say he's on track to be one of those greats.
Yes.
And I don't know how that's going to go, but he has it all.
He has
it all.
And just as a package, if you want that character, I want that character on PlayStation. I want to play with him. So many kids are going to gravitate towards him.
Yeah.
And he plays with so much positivity, so much energy. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
And that he has so many positive traits that so many young kids can look up to and can take from him and add that to their game and their entire mindset.
Agree. And he has the tennis because, he can compete with the top guys because he has the power. He's very hard to overpower, very quick. He's going to probably need to improve his serve a bit. Probably going to need to learn how to come more forward because you can't hang. Sometimes I feel like the point could end if he stepped in and went to the net, but he's not as proactive in moving forward. That will come. He will learn very quickly that you can't beat Alcaraz and Sinner if you do that. As we see with Zverev, you can't. So let's see. It's all positive so far from Artur Fils. I'm very excited for his clay swing.
Yeah.
Very, very excited, Haroon.
Yeah. Guys, let us know what you think of Artur Fils, what you've seen from him ever since he's come back from his injury. Are you as high on him as we are? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And please don't forget to subscribe. It means so much to us.
Yeah, guys. Artur Fils is definitely one of the best talents of our generation, over the young generation for sure. But another up-and-coming beast, Martin Landaluce. This guy is a Spanish superstar. But let me ask you the question. That's what I think. Yousef, do you think Martin Landaluce is a Spanish superstar?
A superstar? I have no idea if he's a superstar. He's on. It was an amazing run.
Is he the next superstar? Is he the next superstar?
Could be. Look at there are signs, right? There are signs. And on the tennis court, we saw the signs in Miami. When you take down the likes of Giron, who's a really good player, and then Dardari, and then Khashanov, then Korda, eventually losing to Lehecka. I do believe that Landaluce has the clutch factor. He saved so many set points, so many match points, and he fights so hard. And he's like, whenever those moments come, those pressure moments come, I felt like that's when he gives us his best tennis. And that's one sign. And the fact that he's made the quarterfinals of a Masters, the first person of his generation, born in 2006.
Unbelievable, crazy.
Is special.
2006,
It's insane.
crazy.
Ahead of Fonseca. Fonseca has yet to do it.
I didn't want to bring that up, Ismaeel, because I know he's your boy and we love him. But yeah, Fonseca hasn't done that. But also Fonseca's won tournaments so far. So that should be credited to Fonseca. But also, off the court, in his box, Carlos Alcaraz's agent is right there, and I think he's his agent too. So that's also a sign. When someone picks you and decides, when you're one of the top agents in the sport and you pick a guy to represent like Martin Landaluce, that's a sign. That's also a sign. So I've seen it on the tennis court. I'm seeing it outside the court with Carlos Alcaraz's agent in that box. It says something. Big things coming. We can't expect that. Is it going to happen? We have to wait and see. But I love what I've seen from him this entire Miami Open.
I mean, I think he's awesome. Haroon, I am so high on him. Like, I had no idea where this came from. I had no idea where this came from.
Finals, I think he wasn't doing good. He was losing to everyone.
Yeah, he didn't have a good next gen finals. This was such a convincingly impressive tournament. Yeah. Like the run that he had on the way to his quarterfinal, like Tiranti he's coming from the qualies, and then he beats Marcus Giron, who is a very solid player. Dardiri, Khashanov, Korda, and the way he beat Korda was absolutely spectacular because he came back from a match point down. He's so clutch, or he played clutch. It's also easier when you have no pressure, right? Because there's no expectation from him, but.
And he made it hard on Lehecka too, by the way. I think Lehecka had like 5 match points.
Yeah, he made Lehecka work.
He makes those are signs to me. Those are signs.
I'm telling you, I think he has the game, Haroon. Like it's really early to call, but I really think he has the game to go all the way to the top. Like I see a top 10 player. I really do. Like the way he generates power off both wings, I like that. He's so aggressive. Like he is so willing to come forward. He's a big dude, by the way, and about 6'4", I think 6'5". Like, he moves well. I think this bodes well for him. Nothing but positive signs. The way he fights, Haroon, I really think he's going to be a top 10 player.
So he's the next Spanish superstar in your opinion, then?
Spain has some good young guns coming up because Rafael Khudar is also looking amazing. But I think, him and Rafael Khudar, and now, Landaluce looks like he's ahead of schedule as well. I'm so impressed. I really am.
I think this guy is unbelievable. And I think, by the way, that this is probably going to be, I don't know if this is the gold, but for sure, I think it's going to be the silver generation, at least the silver generation of Spanish tennis, because it's going to be stacked. They have, like, these two guys are, by the way, Rafael and Martin, both of them, they're both 1 and 2, and they're raced to the next gen. So they're the best of the young guns right now, and I think this guy is unbelievable. I thought he was so close to beating Lehecka. Lehecka played amazing, but I think it's just inexperience from Martin that he couldn't be able to beat Jiri Lehecka. But I think it was so close, in my opinion. I thought he could have done it. But I think this guy is gonna be somebody that everybody should be afraid of. He's tall, he has the power, he's not afraid of anybody. So maybe he should really try to utilize this period right now where he has nothing to lose and he can just play stress-free tennis and just go and crush everybody because he has the game. He has the game to beat anybody, like, in my opinion. Like, so he beats Khachanov, who is a seasoned player on tour, who it's kind of like the test. If you can beat Khachanov, then you kind of have the game to beat anybody else because he's a smart, mature player and he really tests your IQ and tests your level of endurance. And then he beat Korda, also Dardari. So I think this guy is unbelievable. I think the whole Spanish new generation is going to be great. So I'm so excited to see him play Alcaraz and Sinner and Fonseca. Like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome right now.
Yeah.
He's looking good right now in the race to turn. He's at 71.
Loving that race, huh? Loving that race. Well,
he needs to improve in the ranking so he can start playing these big tournaments.
Well, he could get wild cards if people see that he's special. But yeah,
Davis Cup is going to be stacked.
Good stuff. As much as we've seen amazing stories on the men's side, on the women's side, we have the same old story. Not the same old, but in a way. The one and only Queen Aryna Sabalenka takes down Coco Gauff in 3 sets to win the Miami Open, to complete the Sunshine Double, to become the 5th woman in history to do it. Ismaeel, what were your thoughts on the Queen Aryna Sabalenka going back-to-back Indian Wells in Miami?
It's so impressive. It's really, you can't overstate how impressive winning the Sunshine Double is and how impressive and convincing she was in doing it. And she keeps showing that she's just a mental giant. And weirdly, her tennis keeps improving. Like, you think that she doesn't have many areas in her game to improve, but this tournament and Indian Wells, she showed that she's incredible on defense. She's still able to strike the ball really well, as we know from both sides. She hits the ball harder than most men. But she was crushing the ball, but also playing amazing defense. She's starting to hit better from both sides on the run, and she's ready to grind if she has to, if she's not able to hit through someone, and she's incredibly mentally tough. Like, the way she did it, she downed Rebekina again in convincing fashion this time, straight sets. Coco's the only one that was able to take a set off her. She turned into a grind fest on her home court, you could say, and still Sabalenka was able to come through. She's so impressive. She really is. She's by far the deserved world number 1 right now, and the gap is big, is growing.
Yeah, it is. Haroon, your thoughts on Sabalenka winning Miami and
So this is obviously one of the bittersweet moments because I picked obviously Rebekina to win, to win the tournament, and she lost to Sabalenka. Sabalenka, like, I think this whole shift that she had in this last few years, where she become so dominant and world number 1 and winning all these slam titles, is her mental shift. I thought that she's been able to become so strong mentally. And maybe last year it was kind of a little bit shaky. She was having some losses there and she was maybe getting frustrated. But I feel like now she's got even a tighter grip on that, where guys like Rybakina who give her the most trouble are the ones that I feel like she's showing a lot of mental toughness when she faces these kind of players. Even Coco, who was giving her some pushback, and especially when Coco's home crowd, that was a lot of she was a mental giant. I think Sabalenka is unbelievable. Like, okay, the superlatives, how hard she hits, how well she moves, and how fit she is, but the mental toughness that she has, to me, I can really see that improving even more than it already is. So she's unbelievable. And what more can you say? She deserves to be the Sunshine Double queen. Unbelievable. Also, she beat Qinwen Zhang, who is in the round of 16, who is kind of like an underrated opponent there. So amazing.
Amazing run, Yousef, you have to say.
Aryna Sabalenka, to me, has become this player where I am absolutely flabbergasted. I am mind blown. I am surprised when she loses. That's how good she has been. In 2026, she has won 23 matches.
Unbelievable.
She has lost one match. And that one match was the Australian Open final in 3 sets to Elena Rybakina, who came back and dug as deep as she's ever dug before to come back and win that match and eventually win that Grand Slam. So that's how much it requires for anyone to try, even get the chance to beat Aryna Sabalenka. Yesterday in that match, that Sabalenka against Coco Gauff was an unstoppable, it was unstoppable offense against this immovable defense. But she's so overpowering. Coco tried to do everything she can, but it's not enough. Nobody has enough to fight her. It has to be firepower with firepower, and there's only one person on planet Earth that's capable of fighting against her, and that's Elena Rybakina. And ever since that Australian Open final, she's lost twice. Because also, Aryna Sabalenka is a proven mental giant. She's come back from so much. She faces adversity so many times and comes back from. We saw what happened in Roland Garros. We saw what she did in the US Open to overcome that. We saw what happened in the Australian Open in the beginning of the season, and here she is winning the Sunshine Double. Her tennis is second to none. There's no one even close. Elena Rybakina is the second one in line. No one's even close to them. But also mentally, she is beyond superior. So when you add those two together, she cannot be stopped. I do not know what's going to happen going into the clay swing, but I am going to expect that she will continue this dominance.
It's hard to expect otherwise, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It's spectacular.
Last point I want to mention is something elite about her, is that she rises up to the occasion when she has to break back or when she's returning. She's an elite returner. By the way, just to see how many points she won on return against Coco, she won 39 points, 39 receiving points. And how many did Coco win? 24. And against Rybakina, who has an unbelievable serve, she had 30 receiving points, and Rybakina had only 15. So she's an elite returner against the best of the best. Crazy elite.
Good points. Nice points.
Yeah, no, she overall package, she is the best of the best, and also just a fun character. Also, like, it's a great number one to have. Guys, let us know what you think of Aryna Sabalenka winning the Sunshine Double back to back. Indian Wells, Miami, tough one. We love to hear what you guys have to say, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It means so much to us. Well, guys, time for my favorite segment, and that is Overreaction or Not. I'm going to tell you guys something based on what happened these past 2 weeks in Miami, and you let me know, is this an overreaction? Is it not? Let's do it.
Let's go.
Ismaeel, first up. Winning the Sunshine Double is tougher than winning a Grand Slam. Overreaction or not?
Wow. The Sunshine Double has become excruciatingly long, and to do that, you have to go through hell and back. And you have to show a lot of mental toughness and physical fortitude. I'm going to call not an overreaction because that means that you have to, be on your game for now 4 weeks, almost a month, and you have to go through the top players, tough conditions, different types of courts. And look at how many players won slams. Look at how many players won the Sunshine Double. Very few players have won the Sunshine Double. So not an overreaction. Also, hat tip for all those who won it when the final was still best of 5. That was even more excruciating. But definitely no, not an overreaction.
Haroon, overreaction or not?
I agree on this one. It is not an overreaction. Playing consistent level tennis, high level tennis for 4 weeks now, that's really crazy. And also, like you said, Ismaeel, not many people won the Sunshine Double. Only 7 players in the history of the game won the Sunshine Double. And they're greats. Federer, Agassi, Sampras, Djokovic. Like, this is a very elite list. Doing it also without dropping a single set. Unbelievable.
Sabalenka did it too.
Unbelievable. So unbelievable.
Yousef.
You know, how many tournaments do you play where you probably have to go up against the best of the best twice? None, right? None. Yeah. But in the Sunshine Double, you can go up against, for example, Jannik Sinner is going to go up against Sasha Zverev twice in one Sunshine Double. And he has to take him down both times. And then in the final, whoever he faces. So I agree. This is not an overreaction. And not only that, moving from California to Miami, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, and you have to stay the same and go on and take down all these guys. So yeah, this is not an overreaction. It's a really fun, actually, overreaction or not statement here. Love it. But yeah, not an overreaction. Unanimous.
Nice.
Then Haroon, how about this one? Jannik Sinner will become world number 1 by the end of the clay swing. Overreaction or not?
That's not an overreaction. It's not an overreaction. He doesn't have a lot of stuff to defend. Carlos has a lot of stuff to defend. So Jannik can go in there and swoop in, play great. He has nothing to defend, so he's playing a little bit stress-free. I think this is not an overreaction. Maybe even an underreaction.
Ismaeel.
Well, right now we do have a difference between Carlos and Jannik as 1,000-something points, and so the race is getting very tight.
Yeah.
However, Carlos is now the king of clay, dare I say. And so I'm expecting a huge season from him on clay as well this year, especially with the form he showed prior to these 2 tournaments.
Lots of points to defend.
A lot of points to defend, but I think he has the game to do it. So I'm going to call overreaction on this. I think still Carlos is the man on clay.
I'm going to say this is not an overreaction. Like, it's just the numbers. Carlos has so much to defend, and Jannik did not play all those tournaments. He didn't play Madrid. He didn't play Barcelona or Munich. I don't know if he's going to play those. Did not play Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo and Madrid. Those are the 2 ones.
Yeah,
if he does damage
also,
there.
And he lost Rome last year. Alcaraz has so much more to defend. So I believe that Jannik Sinner, come Roland Garros, is going to be the world number 1. Then last one, Haroon. Jiri Lehecka will be top 10 by Roland Garros. Overreaction or not?
I'm going to call overreaction because he's showing us great levels of tennis, but the consistency still, he didn't show tournament in, tournament out. So from tournament to tournament, if I see it, then it won't be an overreaction, but still overreaction. Also moving on to clay, I don't know. So I'm calling overreaction here.
Ismaeel.
I think he still has like 1,000+ points to get into the top 10, and he's now at 14. Is he ranked now at 14?
Yep, 14. Yep.
So he's very close. But, you know, I don't think Jiri really likes the clay. Plays more of a flat type of, his ground strokes are more flat.
He had the biggest win of his life on clay in Madrid.
True. Madrid's also a unique type of clay, though, because of the altitude and the speed.
Points there.
He can, but I don't think he's going to be able to break. There's still too many good top players there. I don't think he's going to break through yet.
The clay code specialists are gonna come out now.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do it yet.
Yeah. Even though I love Jiri Lehecka, I think it's a bit too soon. By the end of the clay swing, that's not enough time for him to rack up the points. So I'm going to say this is an overreaction also.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was our overreaction or not segment. Let us know what you think. What was an overreaction? What was not? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you know, we like to keep it 100 on this show and let you know where we were right and where we were wrong. Let's start off with where we were wrong. On the women's side, well, me and Haroon, we had Rebekina.
Yep.
She always disappoints me.
You were unlucky there because Sabalenka had her down. Where we were right, Yousef. You had Sabalenka winning it, going for the Sunshine Double.
Yes.
Well done. She did it.
Wow.
Boy, was she convincing. That was a fun run from her. On the men's side, where we were wrong, I had Alcaraz. I was wrong there. Yousef, you had Medvedev. You were wrong there as well. It feels like he left the tournament a long time ago.
Who?
Medvedev.
Really? But how come you didn't say that same thing about Alcaraz?
Also left a long time
Exactly.
ago. It's been a long tournament, brother. Where we were right, Haroon, you had Sinner winning Miami, going for the Sunshine Double.
Also, I had Indian Wells. Indian Wells, I had him winning Sunshine Double, though.
You did. Congrats there.
Enjoy that.
We didn't think he would do it. And, I expected Carlos to stop him. And I'm still hoping for a Sinker-ass final, guys. Like, I thought we were going to get in Miami. I was pretty convinced we would get in Miami. And here we are. We wait again.
Alcaraz is not showing up. Jannik is waiting for him.
Well, also, Carlos is waiting for him the 2 previous tournaments. So they're waiting for each other right now. The dance is not working. But
True.
We move into the clay. And I expect multiple Sinker-ass finals, let me say, in the clay swing. At least I'm hoping for it.
We hope
and
so.
It should be fun. So, well, it's time to right our wrongs. We have Monte Carlo coming up. Time to make some picks. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Haroon, who you got in Monte Carlo? Who's going to win it?
Everybody's playing. It's going to be stacked. But he didn't let me down before. He's not going to let me down again. Jannik Sinner, baby, going to go on an undefeated streak here. Jannik Sinner, although Alcaraz is waiting for him. But no, baby. Jannik Sinner is the assassin. Let's go.
Yousef, Haroon's backing Sinner in Monte Carlo. Are you going with Sinner?
I'm going to go with the man who loves the clay. Who, when you speak of him and you say, what is his best surface? You say the clay courts. And going into Monte Carlo, which is his home, I believe that Sasha Zverev is going to take home the Monte Carlo Masters in 2026.
Wow, that's a fun pick. When you said this is, I thought you were going with Valentin Vachereau for a second. Or maybe Tsitsipas. I didn't know.
Actually, the first half.
You did. You had me in the first half. That was going to be an exciting pick. But you guys know, Carlitos is the king of clay. I'm going to back him here. I think he's going to be well-rested going into Monte Carlo. Defending champion. Get ready for an epic clay swing coming from Carlitos. He's the man. He's world number 1. He's going to fight for that throne. He's not going to give it up to Jannik too easily. Give me Carlitos here, going to the Monte Carlo title.
You guys go Sinner Alcaraz every tournament.
You can as well. I mean, it's just the
I know,
logical
but
pick.
I picked the correct pick. I've been correct for the last 2 tournaments.
Now you do the correct pick. Then when you do the fun pick, you make sure everyone knows it's the fun pick. But anyways.
No, I don't make sure.
I think you picked Sinner for 4 tournaments in a row now, bro.
Every tournament. Like, a broken clock is right twice.
50%. How right were you?
0. Actually, I had Sabalenka, so no.
Sure.
For both, by the way. I picked her to win the Sunshine Double.
Sure. Yeah, well, it is what is. They're the best too, so we have to make do. But I like the Sasha pick. I would love to see him win.
I want to see Sasha win big tournaments so bad. Like, it's something I really want to see.
I would love to see it. I don't know if he likes Monte Carlo as much as he likes some of the other clay tournaments.
Yeah,
Madrid
I don't like Sasha.
Like a lot more.
He doesn't do good in Monte Carlo ever.
Yes, he does. He makes semis. He's good.
Yeah, but like it's not as much as he likes.
Yeah, because he's won Rome and he's won Madrid.
Or Madrid. He loves Rome and Madrid so much.
Yeah, he likes those way better than Monte Carlo.
We're gonna find.
You know who's epic in Monte Carlo?
Who?
Stefanos Tsitsipas, baby. You watch out.
Oh my God.
You watch out for Stefanos.
He beats Jannik Sinner before there.
You know who also beat Carlos Alcaraz in Monte Carlo?
Yeah, Sebastian Korda.
Sebi Korda, watch out, baby. Let's see if we're going to see some. By the way, Monte Carlo is the home of the biggest upsets on clay. So keep an eye out. I think we're going to see some really surprising results. Let us know, who do you have winning the Monte Carlo tournament? I think it's going to be a fun one. In the meantime, stay tuned. We're cooking some fun interviews coming your way. And it's going to be some really juicy interviews with some top players and some top coaches. In the meantime, go check out our recent interview with Coach Christoph Ligon. He dropped so many cool insights about Sinker-ass, and also he's now coaching Alex Mickelson. Your tennis IQ is going to go up. And if you enjoy that, go check our interview with Coach Michael Tilstrom. He's coaching Denis Shapovalov. So many cool insights there. Subscribe and follow. We'll see you here next week.
Have a good night. Good night, good night. Very good night.